This is called a bridge. A bridge is an exercise which is really great at strengthening the hips, strengthening the glutes, but the problem is, and a lot of you who have subscribed to the channel know that if you have a weak or grumpy low back, then this doesn't always work well for you. So in this video today, I'm going to show you some options of different ways that you can modify it with things like bands, as well as changing pressure and tension, which will help out to make it so you can add it back into your gym exercises. Hey everyone, I'm Sebastian. I'm going to cover 3 things that people need to be aware of when they're having trouble with the bridge series, just like so. Number 1 is tension. Next is going to be form, or doing like the snake thing. And the third thing is dosage, or break time. Hang around for the entire video. You're not going to want to miss the third one. The dosage one is super important for lasting effects. Now, when most people learn a bridge, they learn it as a double leg bridge, which there's nothing wrong with a double leg bridge, which is basically like so, okay? Most people kind of do it really slow, but a lot of people do it fast, okay? Ideally, you want to go super slow to create what we call time under tension, or in the literature it's called TUT. Okay, time under tension is what makes the muscles work quite a bit. It's what they use in bodybuilding as well as building lean muscle. You should ideally feel what we call appropriate target tissue, or the appropriate response to the challenge, okay? And the way you're going to know that this may potentially bother your low back or make it stiff later is if you feel your low back starting to incorporate in the exercise right now. Some people feel it after a couple reps, some people feel it after 10 to 20. But remember, let's think about what this exercise is called. It's called the glute bridge. So where's the target tissue? It's the glutes, right? So if you start feeling hamstring, it's a sign of compensation. If you start feeling low back, compensation. Feel the quads, compensation. Those are the most common spots. Some people who have irritation in their neck feel it in their neck at the top. Again, that's not something you want. There's other ways to modify it too. Now, to see if we can mitigate some of this inappropriate response to the challenge, the first thing you could do is change tension. And what I like to do first is drive the elbows into the floor. This activates the core. You'll feel your belly start to shudder just as you hold the floor away. And I know I'm cheating through the bridge, and that's okay. Okay? The next thing we're going to do is, so we got this tension here, and then we're going to drive our heels into the floor too. Okay? Yes, my feet are up. In this scenario, it's okay to have feet up because you're trying to drive in tension and encourage the glutes to be back online again as you're going through the initial part of the exercise. Now, once you start to get the glutes really start to warm up, you'll feel, I think Arnold used to say the reps don't start until the pump starts, right? Or the set doesn't start until the pump starts. When you start to feel the pump, you know you're going to get to the appropriate tissue if it's in this area here, okay? If you're not having it in the appropriate area, don't worry. Stay tuned to the other parts of this video, and I'll show you different things that may help solve that as well. Now that this is activated with the tension, okay, the other thing we can do is then go super slow, like you mentioned, time under tension now, okay? Focusing on driving the heels to the floor and driving the elbows to the floor as well, okay? So tension is by far the most misused thing in the exercise, okay? The next thing is going to be form, and for this, just draw your attention down here to my belly. A lot of people are, especially with lower back discomfort and irritation when they go back in the gym, is they become what we call spine hinges. They become spine movers. And so if I'm going through this exercise here, and if you see my rib cage kind of popped up like so, like my back is already in it, okay? You can't eliminate it completely, but don't make the exercise a back bridge. It's called the glute bridge, okay? So the first thing you want to do is see if you can like sink your belly down to the floor, sink your rib cage to the floor, and then you can take these fingers right here, like the hang loose, and attach one to your rib cage and then to your belt buckle, and see if you can keep the hang looses still in contact as you go through the bridge. Yeah, we've released the tension, but not everyone needs the tension, they need this instead. So it's always based upon the unique aspects of coaching the individual, okay? Now, sometimes this gets people's glutes to come back online and they still have the butt cheeks, and all of a sudden you can hammer that baby out, okay? So either number 1, you have tension issues, or number 2, you have just position or posture issues in it. Now, the last thing we do is change the intensity, okay? I have these 2 bands here. This band right here is the most common one that people have. Notice it's blue. Blue means it's harder. Yellows, reds, stuff like that, they're too light. They're too light. And even this, if you notice how much it contacts into my knee, it's going to actually get pretty uncomfortable when I put it over there, because the surface area that it's in contact with is actually much less than something like this cloth one. These cloth ones, you can buy them anywhere online. They're called glute resistance bands or glute loops. And so you go here, and actually they're pretty firm. Most people need to get a firm one, okay? If you're a wider individual, you have to have bigger thighs, I would look for the wider loop, but not necessarily a lighter resistance, okay? So with this, you would create the hang looses, okay? And then create a little spread on the band here, and then just go for broke, okay? You'll start to feel those butt cheeks start to warm up pretty good. And as you start to get accustomed to the movement itself, you can challenge the range. High as you can, low as you can. High as you can, low as you can. High as you can, low as you can. Next, you can actually cheat. Hands, which encourages the abdominal area or the core to become involved. Again, if the core is involved, the glutes will work better. I can already feel this warming these cheeks up like mad right now. Now let's talk about how we can use this as a warm-up. This is ideally a warm-up for another lift, like a deadlift, a squat, a single leg hinge, a single leg RDL, something else which is going to be the actual focus part of your exercise program. These are warm-ups or corrective exercises intended to improve either patterning, which is this one wasn't necessarily patterning, but we did this, which kind of was, or activity or increasing activity of a muscle which is dormant. A lot of you have heard of glute amnesia, or the glutes are not necessarily strong or they're weak. They're mainly just offline. They're not working super well, right? We encourage them to work a little bit harder, and then we end up getting them more active and linking them to the entire system in the lift itself. So if you guys are looking for more exercises like this to build into your exercise program, we have the YouTube channel, which is all of our free content. But if you're looking for other versions or customized programs, we offer virtual and in-person services too. We'll see you guys next time.